All right, hello there, everybody. This evening I'm going to talk to you about how to read a poem. And I know it sounds kind of silly because you obviously all know how to read quite well, but as you know, when you read a poem, it's a little bit different because the poems are shorter, and so the authors have to pack a lot more punch into each word they use. And so sometimes when you're reading a poem, you miss some of the meaning if you don't take these steps and make sure that you're understanding what the poet is trying to share. So we're going to walk through it together, and we are going to read a poem called There Is No Frigate Like a Book. And this poem is by Emily Dickinson. And actually the first step we're going to do together to read to understand a poem is to look at the title. The title is There Is No Frigate Like a Book. And you're going to make sure that you understand all the words. A frigate is a ship, like the one you see here. So even if you didn't know that, you could probably tell from the pictures. If not, look it up, obviously. And then like a book. So it looks like these are being compared, like a big ship is being compared to a book. And while you're looking at the title, I want you to try to kind of visualize it. If it's something you're familiar with, something that you can see in your head. If you imagine one of those ships and how it's similar to a book, maybe they both take you places. Just think about the title for a little bit and get something out of that. Once you have the title down, you're going to read the poem one time just straight through. I do want you, when you read it straight through the first time, make sure you pay attention to the punctuation because that will help with the understanding. When there is a comma, make sure you pause. A period, you're going to stop a little bit longer. A semicolon, you're going to pause. And then at this end mark, you're going to stop. So make sure that you're paying attention to the punctuation. So let's read it one time just straight through. There is no frigate like a book to take us lands away, nor any coursers like a page of prancing poetry. This traverse may the poorest take without oppressive toll. How frugal is the chariot that bears a human soul. So now we've read through it. Now we're going to look at it a second time and start paying attention to the word choice, the vocabulary. Look for any figurative language that will help us understand it. So we already talked about a frigate is a ship. And then we have the like there. Remember we already said they're comparing frigate and a book. To take us lands away. So it's saying that no ship can take you away like a book can. Nor any coursers. A courser is a fast and a strong horse. So it's a fast horse. Okay. So no, nor any horses like a page of prancing poetry. We have a little alliteration there. Page, prancing, poetry. This traverse. A traverse is a journey. May the poorest take without oppress. Oppress is where you're trying to keep you down. It's like keep you down so you can't get better or escape. Keep down. And a toll is a fee, something you pay. How frugal. Frugal means inexpensive or cheap. Inexpensive. That bears a human soul. Okay, so now I've read through a second time. I found some alliteration, a simile, and I made sure I know what all the words mean. So now I'm going to read it through one more time, a third time, with these new words and read it for meaning. This time I'm trying to understand what it's saying. There is no ship like a book to take us lands away. So there isn't a ship anywhere that can take you places like a book can. There's not any even fast horses that work like a page of prancing poetry. So that even a fast horse can't take you places like poetry can. The journey, the poorest people can take this journey because they're not being kept down by any fees. They're not, the journey in a book you don't have to pay for. Even the poorest people can do it. How frugal is the chariot? It's so inexpensive, this way to travel with your soul. So the meaning I'm gathering from that is that book. Oops, a book. Can take you away. Is another way to travel. It's another way to let your imagination travel. And it can take you places further than any ship or fast horse. That a book is more effective. It lets your imagination travel. So there we go. So now we've read through the poem and we better understand it now than that first time we read it and thought, I have no idea what that means. So the steps we took that I want you to remember that we will be working on. First, you're going to read through the title and try to visualize it in your head. Then just read straight through, just to get a feel of the poem, just to hear the sounds. It's also good to read it quietly to yourself, but also to read it out loud to hear it. Then you're going to look at word choice and figurative language. And the next one is you're going to read it for meaning. Once you've gone through and looked at all those words and found the figurative language, read it one more time straight through for meaning. Okay. Make sure that you take your notes on your paper and bring this into school tomorrow, and we will practice reading poems.